So, in the last couple of sessions, you returned to Itzel after, in order to rest after the harrowing journey through the Tomb of the Dragon Rider. There was a whole complicated shebang with some sort of criminal fence who was selling Angus's awakened daggers to some sort of invisible assassin belonging to the Obsidian Brotherhood, who were involved in gang warfare with the Reavers and Fire Roses in Tanzia. Three types of criminal gangs here in these lands. After subduing the assassin, Talali took him to the local Temple of Banzala, while Angus and Sal unwound at the Ember Room before retiring to the Crescent Falls Resort. The rest of you headed to the Sunside Settle for a night of raucous drinking with your employer, Miss Varesh. Conversations covered your journey to the tomb, your findings and rewards. Velum and Varesh had a private conversation, and as the evening wore on, you all eventually retired and prepared for nearly a week's travel to the Tanzan wilds. You did some last-minute shopping and gathered supplies, leaving Itzel possibly for the last time in a long while. During the journey, the greenery and vibrancy began to poke through the arid savanna of the Tanzan plains, and you opted for a slower pace, as you have been doing since your travel up to Itzel, spending 4 hours crafting in the morning, 8 hours travelling, and 4 hours crafting in the evening, and 8 hours sleeping. It's during these 6 days of travel before reaching the Tanzan Wilds tree line, Velum and Sao discussed her future airship project and the monumental task of gathering the needed resources. You also discussed other collaborative projects. As we return to the game, you are on the trail to the Tanzan Wilds. Here we go, Tanzan Plains.
I don't think this is the right one, Jay.
You are still on, technically, the Tanzan Plains. It's just getting a bit greener now.
Yeah.
It's jangle.
You were also a blob, Gab. So,
Hey Gab, did you ever mechanically get to pick up the war paints?
oh, okay.
Hello?
The Babo, you there?
The bop.
Yeah? Oh. I forget.
You forget you exist and also are a bulb.
Yeah. Keep streaming with my friends. There you
Look, it's never gonna be more embarrassing than my OC.
go. Yeah, when you broke that server once.
Oh no, that's a different OC. I'm talking with being the wrong character.
Wow. I think I gotta reload. Everything's just black for me.
Good old parallaxing.
But yes, did you ever actually mechanically get the war paints?
The what?
That was directed at you, Gabbo.
Did I ever get what?
The war paints?
War
Should've been.
paints. Did I get the war paints?
You did
think
not, I believe. I don't think
No.
Angus gave them to you.
It should be sent. Okay. I thought we tried to do the trade for these. I've sent them to you. Did they just go through?
Hang on, let me check my inventory. I'm reloading the world. Everything was just black for me. Hang on.
Okay. So I'm trying to send it and it's not being the sheet.
Yeah, it's probably because I'm not like logged in right now. Or whatever you want to call it. There you go. Everything's still black, never mind. Sure, try and do the trade again then.
Gift to character. Ronco. Did you get something?
Nope.
Oh, that's
I have not gotten anything.
Son of a bitch. Hey Ducky, do you still have that leather I gave you?
Yes.
I might need that back, or at least a portion of it, because shields need leather.
God.
Look, not my
there you
fault.
go.
Jenna slips things in.
There you go.
Or did-
Now it pops up.
But hey,
Oh yeah, I was trying to right click, just send you the item.
Oh,
I don't think
right.
that works just yet. We're gonna have to figure that out later, Janner.
War
gonna say,
crimes.
just
Oh
throw
boy,
them.
finger paints. My
Right.
favorite.
How much leather do you need back?
I only need the one, but I might need it for Sour's shield as well. So give me a couple.
Give him 4.
I have a lot of leather.
I had like 20 pounds of leather. I had nothing to use it on, and then Jenna suddenly adds leather to certain recipes, and I'm like, damn it.
I'm trying to send it to you. It's just thinking, did it go through?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's taking a while.
What a singular piece of leather.
1 pound of leather.
I was fucking trying to send you all of it.
A singular piece of leather.
It's
Yeah.
How are you able to send it to him like that?
Once you have your sheet open and your stuff is in the main inventory, once you click the 3 dots on the right side of the item, there should be one that says give to character.
I tried doing that.
Okay, this should be enough. We don't have to send all of it individually.
Okay,
Oh god,
it's
sending it individually. No! Stop!
Sal
I
just
just
comes
get
over there to
pop-up
develop.
6 pounds of leather.
It just drops leather on top of his head
Throwing
while
leather
working.
at his own face. It's like, here, take the leather.
I was like, oh, right. I get.
It'd be hilarious if you throw it, it's like our usual, throw it on the ground, and then it just starts parallaxing out of the screen. Just be like, shit, grab it.
Like, I just throw it on the ground, it's fine. It stops running away from it. It's like, no, guys, please.
I was already sending all the letters. It was just taking a while.
Yeah, I imagine so. It's just
You
funny.
keep
It's
trying to-
like, okay,
I'm
this
gonna
should be
refresh.
enough. Oh no, more is coming.
I don't know what, because I couldn't even send things to Alice at one point. So I'm not entirely sure what's going on, to be honest.
Me
Figure
neither.
out what's going on with trading. It's a sneaky little addition, Jenner.
Like for instance, yes, I'm gonna trade Atlas some coffee beans. Trade does not go through. What do you mean does not go through? He's
Trade
right there.
closed.
I can't even pick things up.
It's like the genre goes to hand it to him and then just has an empty hand. It's like, did you not give it to me? Just mouthful of beans.
I fucking hate you.
I like
It's
how
like,
both,
oh, yeah, I'll share my coffee. Hop.
I like how both Vellum and Vadmia are staring at the back of
I'm
the
teaching her
cart.
how to drive backwards.
It's a very important skill.
You never know when you're gonna need to shoot on them.
Oh
Nobody
no.
puts
Okay,
Vellum in
quicker,
the
damn
corner, aside from Vellum.
No one puts Vellum in the corner except for Vellum does this. I'm fine. Gets hit. Ugh.
Technically,
I meant to do that.
can just work at any angle because she's got that weird lump that she's not just lean, constantly doing the lean.
I don't know. I feel like either she's laying down
I'm trying to see.
or she can be looking at the
Constantly looking up at pterodactyls.
Jenner, are you able to just take it off my sheet and give it to him? I can't send it. I can't trade it.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to want to work for some reason.
Right, okay then. Hang on. I will. I'll do that real quick.
I am rejoining the world once again.
Actually, just delete it off your sheet. I'll just give him one from the compendiums.
I'm gonna wait until you give it to him first. Given how things have happened, if the shit disappeared.
It should be fine. I have it in the compendiums. There you go. Yes.
Just a quick clarification.
Mhm.
If I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, of course. The conditions for Masterwork is beating the DC by 5, right?
I believe so.
I believe
Yes.
that's what we agreed on. Okay. And just bearing that in mind, because Shield is going to be the next project, so.
All right. Okay.
The masterwork is beating the DC by 5.
Yeah, having a bunch of additional mechanics was just making it complicated, so it makes more sense just to attach it to the DC, and 5 is the threshold before it got too much to actually be successful on harder metals. Like there's some metals that would just put you in too high of a DC to ever succeed, if it was like 10 or something.
So,
So
I
5 is a middle ground.
I believe some of you wanted to have a little downtime with each other, to talk amongst each other.
Roleplay.
Roleplay.
Yes.
I'm thinking preferably either at camp, or if we are having a small break from driving.
I mean, that's up to you.
I'm down for whatever Ducky just is. I'll go with the flow.
Yeah.
All right. So eventually, you do manage to find camp after about the second day of travel. There's this cool mist that hangs low over the grasslands. The dew sparkles on the blades of grass as the sun begins to warm the air in the sunset. As you make camp for the night, you see in the distance this herd of herbivorous dinosaurs that are sort of grazing nearby, and they watch you with this mild curiosity, but they do keep their distance. You kind of take a moment to admire their majestic presence before kind of continuing to set up camp here.
All right. Where is Nick at?
Nick would be in the wagon. Probably doing probably reading. Yeah, she'd probably be reading right now and looking over her scrolls of spells. Let me move her over here.
Yeah, it's a bit tricky because of spacing.
Tail. Big
That
ass
too.
tail. Alright. Probably muttering to herself. With her back to the door.
So I will, of course, gently knock first. Dishar, do you have a moment?
Yes, hold on. She just takes the book with caps the ink, puts it on the table to let the ink dry in her grimoire. You have my full attention?
I have an awkward question. She sort of seems uncharacteristically shy for whenever she has questions.
You're looking at her like, okay. Pops her wire skin. Okay.
So
Take the drink.
you have more worldly experience, more well-traveled. You've seen places and people more than I have. So, sorry for the abrupt question, but how do you handle a relationship between two different species?
At this point, she's mid-gulp. Turns. swallows it. Okay, before you even continue that thought here real quick, the privacy is needed, and she's going to, by the dimensions of the wagon, cast Mordekaiser's private sanctum with the only caveat of no stopping sound from going beyond the interior of the wagon. After she's finished casting that, okay, speak freely, and girl, I need context. You just can't just say shit like that. Come on.
Okay. So, and you can see she's clearly struggling with trying to formulate this, which is kind of out of character for her in a way. I have been dealing with some feelings, and they have been weird to deal with. I'm just gonna say it.
Might as well, because look, subtlety is great and all, but when you have something like this, just say it, girl.
Angus and I might be a thing. And you can see she's just eyes closed, a hand sort of pinched between her eyebrows. Just, she's not confused so much as she is trying to figure it out.
Right. I don't know if you know this spell, well, the exact naming of the spell, but Alter Self would be a spell that can change your physical aspects, would be a temporary solution to a much bigger problem. I can say that, and
it's less of a physical thing, Deshara. It's just
are you talking cultural-wise, mentality-wise?
where I'm from, sometimes marriages are arranged for the better prospect of both sides. And sometimes if you fall in love with somebody who is outside of your circle, it can have consequences for the family.
Oh, so cultural it is.
On my side, at least. Dwarven culture is, I don't want to say nicer or tamer, but as far as I can tell, they are very practically minded. And the practicality of what I'm feeling towards what could happen is, you can just see she looks sort of defeated.
It is unorthodox, essentially. In comparison to your culture. Am I hitting the nail on the head?
Very.
Let's take the culture aspect out of it for right now. Let's say if this does work out, and you get a few glances from either your peers back at home that don't know how much about that, or his peers back in Mayland. Have you thought of the offspring if this was to go forward?
It's at that moment you can see Sarah's expression just sort of reset, and she just sort of thinks for a moment. And immediately, her otherwise pretty green face turns a quite different shade.
So I see you've, as we went down in the Actonian Gulf, jumped off the deep end without much preparation or thought.
Kinda?
Honey, I can see it on your face. You really... No, you didn't think about it. You let your heart just do everything at that point. Silence is relatively telling.
Listen, I'm smart on many fronts. Mechanical problems, engineering, any type of abstraction of construction. I'm good at that. And she just sort of gestures with her hands, trying to somehow articulate what personal things sort of look like, but failing quite fantastically. I am a bad people person.
I wouldn't say bad, it's just you lack the experience. You have a chance to ease into it versus my circumstances where I was thrusted into it. Yours may be a little bit kinder than mine. I'll ask 3 questions.
Ask away.
Which one's more... Which one do you care more for? Love or honor?
For a brief moment, Sao just looks to her arm where her brand is. I don't know.
Now, you're gonna have to ask this question. I can't give you the answer. I really can't. You know your culture better than I do. You know their way of life. But ultimately, this is your life, not theirs. You have to choose who you're going to live for. Them or yourself? Moving on to the second question. Have you thought of lifespan?
It's been on my mind a few times.
You're going to have to deal with that one if you're going to go through with it. I've already made my, as sad as it sounds, I already made my grave with this one. My husband's gonna live longer than I ever will. And I might, there's no might, I will die. It'll be a tragedy. I'll be a living tragedy for him. Final question, and I really hope you think this one through. Not mechanically, emotionally. Despite everything, all that we went through, or all that you and him went through, why you two together? What's binding you? Not lust. What is the actual reason you two want to be together?
That's something I'll probably ask him about.
Because once you go through with this, there is no turning back. You will face a lot of hardships. You have to ask yourself, are you ready for that? And if you have descendants, are you ready to put them through that? You're not living just for you after that point. Also, between you two, I hope that if it works out or if it does not, you take care of both of y'all's hearts.
I will try.
Don't try. Do. Trying implies that you are afraid of failure. We've been through worse. And we came out alive.
I
That's all I'm saying.
overplan and over-engineer almost everything I've built to avoid failure.
And yet and still you're here. Look at me. I've nearly went through so many things that I should be dead 6 times over, and I'm still here, and I didn't plan for that. It's not planning, it's how you react and how you deal with it in the moment. She puts her hand on Sal's shoulder. You've done well. And I appreciate this talk. You have a lot more courage than I did.
I didn't know who else to go to. It's not exactly a topic I can just broach with him.
I'm just gonna say, between him and, well, Vellum, they're an interesting bunch. At least they care. Be a friend or more. You just want to sit here and think for a while, by all means.
I'm Probably gonna go for a walk. Get some air.
Oh, there's one other question I need to ask real quick. This is your first time, Falling in love with someone?
There's an embarrassing silence as Sao sort of doesn't make eye contact, but answers the question nevertheless.
Do it all over again. Well, regardless, as funny as it is, you had two people who wanted your attention. Now you only have, I guess, one. Go take that walk. You'll definitely need it. Also, if you need any more questions, I'll be right here. I'm not going anywhere.
I might ask more questions later. My head is full at the moment.
Be careful not to spill that tea. Quite hot.
Don't remind me of tea right now. I could really go for a nice cup of black jasmine tea.
Well, I can have some tea when you get back.
We'll see. Thank you, Deshar.
By all means. It was a
And
pleasure.
sorry for just dropping this topic on you.
I appreciate the sentiment, but I also am glad to be helpful with mental burden.
All right. So as you retire for the evening, or unless anyone else wants to have any say here for this evening,
I'm good.
I don't think so.
The things I want to broach might be better suited for a later time.
Okay. So, as the evening comes to you all, you wake up the next morning and continue your day's travel. Oh, let me go ahead and... I should be...
Is the sun tonight thing being funky again?
No, I'm just gonna say fuck it to that, and I'm gonna just set it to the
Use
next
our
day.
imagination.
Yeah. So next day, day 3.
On the road again.
Oh, Janner.
Yes.
I don't have a token on this screen.
Oh dear. Hang on.
He's so
That's
well
why I
hidden.
was so dark last time. No wonder I couldn't see anything.
Turns out he's
There
just
we
been
go.
inside a chest in the wagon. This
Hey,
entire
look, there's Grunks.
There I
Look at
am.
him being all
There he
gross.
is. I'm doing the thing in fucking what is it called again? The N64 Zelda game when I'm side hopping because it's faster than running.
So he's just riding along, and then just you hear the
Zoom.
Yeah.
he hops next to him.
See. Oh, all right. So, how long have we been traveling now?
You've been travelling about 3 days now.
All right.
The road kind of leads you past remnants of a once great Akteshi outpost. Crumbling walls and overgrown structures hint at its former glory. There are some dark clouds that sort of gather in the afternoon, and a sudden downpour drenches the land.
Oh no.
No, we're hitting the temperate part of this temperate zone.
Yeah. So, do I get to do some survival checks?
You do indeed.
Yay. Let's see.
Yeah, I'll lower
Where
it.
was there again? They were in the
It was in the journal entries.
journal.
Very bottom.
articles. Oh yeah, gathering. There's
Gathering.
Planes. Planes. That's an image. Stop. There you go.
So, I should say, you get to do one of these every 4 hours.
Every 4 hours. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a lot of checks.
I mean, we're only traveling for 8.
True.
Sure.
So what's that? Six checks?
I mean, if we're
If you're
it's
travelling
every 4
for
hours, so
yeah.
it's 2 checks.
2 checks.
Uh,
Yeah, this will help.
oh,
All right.
What's your survival?
Let me check. My survival
Plus
is
nine.
3.
All right, so you
Well,
can go ahead and.
This will take your health.
All right, so you can
Wow.
go ahead and hit the gather button. It'll prompt you for a survival check, DC 12.
Oh, I thought this was just for traveling along.
No, this is me gathering shit on the road, on the side of the road.
Okay.
Lead ore.
You do, you do find one small outcropping of this dark metal.
Ah, nice.
All right. So,
Another
oh, yeah, you gather some flint.
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 I rolled a nat 20. I get some flint.
So what is the, or where is the like official gathering check?
Oh, it's in journals. The reason he gets to do these checks is because of his background as a wanderer, outsider,
Outlander.
outlander. That's it.
That's right. Just basically it gets free food.
Yeah. And Janner added the other things to make it a bit more interesting.
Yeah, to work with the crafting
Random
system.
shit. Yeah, it's just random shit. That like party passive ability to just grant you random stuff every 4 hours of travel.
Hey guys, I found some flint. She's like, oh, thanks.
Is there
Come
Grunker's
rubbing over with like a pound of flint. Like, here you go. Oh, thank you.
Grunker's
Use these. Bye bye.
Grunker's a loot box.
Yeah.
You never know what you're gonna get.
I'm that fucking faction character in New Vegas that comes in and like gives you random shit because hey, you're nice to this faction. Here, have this garbage.
Yeah.
This shit I don't want.
Yeah. Oh, you're overweight. Tough shit. But yeah. Let's see. How many did I do? There's 2.
That's 2.
That's 2. Now wait for another day.
All right. Again, feel free to stop me if anyone has anything they want to do throughout these 6 days. But if not, I will continue. Sure.
This reminded me of something I wanted to do small-wise. So the day of the scavenging grunky, at some point during when they settle down into the evening, Vellum is going to approach Grunka and Liska, presumably at a time where they're going to be in proximity of each other, so I don't have to find individual people and repeat myself.
Wow.
Right by the fire.
How convenient. I too am also by the fire. Sorry, I just love the placements. It's always the same. You two got a sec? I might need your help with something.
Oh no, what do you want?
Ain't nothing bad. Promise.
Nothing
Sure.
sun related.
No, it's not sun related.
Okay.
So I noticed you two, well, mainly Grunka, but both of you heading off in the wilderness now and again. Little bursts. Might need your help getting some supplies. Thinking of making some stuff that'll appeal to the locals, and from what I've been seeing, things like colourful feathers and natural things of the region seem to be part of all that. So next time you're out, I was wondering if maybe you could see about getting some of that sort of stuff for me. I can add it to my crafts and make a bit of money when we get to sea.
Yeah, like Grook is gonna take out a flat rock and is gonna start scratching things in with another rock, with a piece of flint that he found.
Grunka note taking.
He
Yeah.
started. Oh, I thought he was doing that to start the fire because apparently the fire just started. Like, good job, Drunka. Well done.
That was just an accidental byproduct. Like he.
Yeah, it was
makes
just,
things,
it
but
was
not
just scratching
fires
so
at the same
intensely
time.
that it's just sparks fly. What did you want? What?
Okay, so you want to say again what you want to tell them?
Things from nature, like bright feathers from some of them beasties that we've seen about. Actually, Jenner, quick question: Can I try and recall any particular fashion notes from the styles that this region tends to exhibit?
From what you
'Cause I know
saw in
big colourful feathers are a lot of it. But
oh yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know about-
From what you saw in it all, yeah, big colourful feathers are very prominent. Golden jewellery is also fairly common amongst the higher echelons of society. Basically, lots and lots of bright colours. Cottons, thin, breathable cottons for the warmer climate. That general sort of thing, yes. Lots and lots of ornate patterns as well, woven into the fabrics.
Big colours. Well, anything bright and colourful, feathers, maybe the odd bit of, maybe the odd bit of fancy stone, just whatever you can find that catches your eye. Don't feel like you gotta. I figure since you're out anyway, it might be worth using the nature of this place a bit.
Bright feathers.
Okay. Like, so look for the gold, feathers, and other natural sorts of things.
Gold.
Yeah. Bright and natural. That's the way of it.
I mean, okay.
Colorful stuff.
It'd be a big help, thanks, and I know you two are good at this sort of thing.
Thank you. Is there a size limitation?
Like he takes a moment, and just sort of like fingers, just whatever you could carry. Don't go too crazy.
Grook is,
But when you drag it something big home, just for sake of it.
Grook is gonna like side eye Liska a bit and be like, what we
Whatever I can carry.
Whatever she can carry.
Understood.
Also, out of character. Yes, I know Talali's over there, but Velum already knows this shit. He wanted. Look, I want to include Liska and Groka and shit. Okay, fuck off, Talali.
It's like, hey,
You're a side character.
like-
You're an NPC.
it's like, man, I'm trying to figure out what these people, this culture
No,
want
he,
to like.
he knows it. He just needs help getting it. Like, if I have questions, Talali will be the first one he goes to, but he knows what he needs. He just needs to get it. So, fuck
When he
no.
actually gets things, he's gonna go to her to talk about, is this in fashion still?
But yeah, that was pretty much it. I wanted to include Liska and Groka and more things.
Okay, I will have a look at these things.
So, are you starting to learn about leatherworking or what? No?
Well, I've been thinking jewelry as a focus, but I do have a lot of steel laying around, so I'm gonna see what I can put to use for that. I mean, we've seen the kind of combat gear that these people have, but I don't know, that's something different. But right now, it's just the jewelry, just anything that can catch their eye, you know. I know they like jewelry and I know they like gold, so I can put that to use.
True. But she glances at Talali.
Yes, I'm aware. I'll talk to your side character in a bit.
No, that wasn't. She was.
I know.
looking at Talali because she's wearing a lot of gold and jewelry. But the fuck, Jenner just placing the rap. Yeah, I mean, I guess we can try. She's gonna look at Grunka. It's like, I guess we can start looking for when we, like in the mornings when we are waiting for them to finish the crafting, and
Yeah.
in the evenings when they're still doing that shit. So, do we have time right now, Jenner, or is as the crafting, the 4 hours of crafting after are passed?
You can. I would imagine by now, the crafting hours are just finishing up.
Okay. So yeah,
This is gonna be a
Just-
passive going forward thing.
I'm just trying to, in character, figure out when they're gonna do it. It's like, okay, so I guess we can start doing that. Start heading out together to find some bright feathers and other shiny things that I can carry.
Okay.
Okay. I guess it gives me something else to do aside from practicing my forms and stuff like that. What do you usually do at night, Grunka?
I sleep.
You sleep as soon as we stop and then wake up whenever we're ready to go?
Yeah. Mostly. I might look at stuff, but otherwise, you know, gotta sleep when you can.
Can we? That is true.
I do hang out a little bit with Webby, but you know, he doesn't really sleep, so we do that. You can do that whenever.
Do you want me to start setting up your rock as soon as we stop then?
I mean, that could be nice, yeah. Just, wherever you feel, surprise me.
I'll start doing that.
Yeah.
So, I guess right now I'm just going to go to sleep because it is late.
Yeah.
And Liska's gonna go to sleep because it's late.
Yes.
So, question: is Talali here?
Yeah,
Okay.
she's been leading the group.
Well, I mean like in the camp, because you at one point you wanted her removed from the map because she wasn't there or some shit. Yeah. With after that enlightening conversation, Bellum is actually going to approach her.
He's sitting cross-legged on the rock, just idly munching on some food.
Mind if I pick your brain, Talali?
Me kind of like me brain, but if you want, sure.
Well, I've been thinking about what to work on next. Something that maybe will sell well in textiles. And I caught myself thinking in the wrong kind of mindset. Because back home, a lot of the heavier armors are in style, I guess, like they're used a lot. But from what I've been seeing over here, that's not really common. Just wondered if you knew anything about how the fighters of this place gear themselves.
They tend to gear themselves more lightly. You think me remember the big one over there wearing all that gold armor? Something along those lines. But also, a lot of the times what they wear, you might see some jaguar skins or other things of that nature that are magically imbued to give the same kind of resilience as steel.
Velem's scribbling on parchment at this point.
I should also say,
agility over sturdiness.
I should also say, less plate armor worn by the warriors of the dynasty. It mostly tends to be, splint mail at best.
They don't do that heavy shit,
No.
like the real chunky bits.
Well, splint mail is heavy armor, but
it's heavy classification, but it's not layers upon layers.
It's sort of narrow vertical strips of metal kind of riveted to a backing of leather that's worn over like cloth padding. But that's about it, really.
So he's scribbling what Talali's saying, and it's in Orcish, so it's about as good as a chocolate teapot to most of the people. Okay, so definitely lighter things, pelts and leathers. Do they? Is it like a class of warrior thing that some might be different than others, or is it all just the same throughout?
You mean... No, they're different depending on where they come from.
Oh, so it's regional. Okay. Scribble, scribble. Okay, I'll have to look into that later.
You mean if you come from up north, you're gonna be coming from the Volcano Lands. You don't really want to be wearing heavy armor.
So it's environment as well. Okay.
Yeah, and plus these jungles, which we're about to go into, very humid. You don't want to waste away inside armor inside a very humid, hot jungle.
Oh yeah, I'm already gonna tell I can hate that. I'm used to dry heats.
I can do.
So things that got good. They're airy, breezy, and easy to move in. Nothing too heavy, depends on region. Right, well that's a big help, thank you.
No problem. Happy to help a craftsman.
Well, it's important to know who you're making for. Especially when it comes to culture.
I'll ask for my payment later on.
Yeah.
When I can think of something.
Well, if you need my services, you know where to find me.
Yeah. You're cut in whatever he makes. Your royalties.
I'd take a 90% cut.
You get 90% cunt. You know that thing you wouldn't have crafted without me knowledge. I'm going to be taken.
Why did you say cunt?
I said cut.
You said cunt. I'm sorry.
I heard that. I heard that as well.
And say cut with a sort of accent like that.
But it's just funny. 90% cunt.
Y'all have issues.
Approximately.
Dirty minds.
It's not dirty minds. That's what you said.
It's approximately 90% cunt.
Hey, We're not talking about Vellum here.
It's like Dajar is 80% us.
I take offense to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, sorry. Oh shit. Let's take a drink. That was funny. But yeah, Vellum leaves her to her munching, and that'll be him for the moment.
All right then.
Yeah, Kalila just watches him go, keeps munching. Sporadically, she seems to just be muttering to herself as she's looking around the camp.
So,
Liska's sleeping, so y'all do y'all's
Yeah.
own thing.
Yeah, unless I had anything else, that was all I needed to do for the time being.
all right, fair enough. As we head back onto the road.
Yay, rain! Sorry, I
Janner, you seriously didn't just have actual rain effects.
Rain! I love rain.
It would seem so.
Rain is amazing. Look at that shit.
I love rain, dude.
I love rain.
Storms are nice.
Yeah, rain is nice, but you're on a tank.
I mean, it cools.
Dude,
it cools everything.
what are you talking about? Fucking tin roof thunderstorm. Sounds my man's about to fall asleep at the wheel.
You get the nice little hisses as well when the water hits it.
Make a wisdom save. God, shit.
Actually, no, that reminds me.
All right, yo.
Yeah,
let's
no
go.
issue. Yeah, Angus stayed up the
Man
entire
to the
night.
mission.
Hooray!
Again.
He did it.
And throughout these next few days, you do notice that Angus is attempting to stay up the entire night. He's going without sleep.
I mean, I don't notice. I'm sleeping. like this.
Well, I mean, rotating
Oh,
watches.
look at Angus's bed every night. Come on.
Also, what date? Which day is this?
This is the. I can double check here.
Fourth, was it?
This is the 22nd.
Oh, you mean calendar day.
21st.
21st. Okay. How many days have we been traveling? Because I'm keeping track of what I've done.
You've been travelling for 1, 2, 3 days.
Okay then. I haven't
Get
hit
it,
the fourth day yet.
Yes, go ahead.
Oh,
Oh.
no.
Nothing.
Wait. Don't you have that fate die?
Oh. There you go. This is helping you. Roll again.
Oh,
Rocket keeps getting stuck in the mud and Liz
Can't get it.
pulls him
Well,
out of it.
Oh,
Well, mine was to look for materials in the morning while
Oh,
they're crafting.
I get you. Okay. So in that case, I'll give you brief access to the gathering. The gathering thing.
Welcome to
Gathering
my
list.
world.
Oh, jeez.
A lot of stuff.
Might take a little bit to load up. Give it a moment.
I would also like to do a craft.
Sure.
I would like to start on this.
Oh, jeez.
Let me. Boop.
So,
Some of these
um,
items are interesting.
I believe you're helping me.
Yes.
Cool.
Because
I'm gonna need it.
actually, hold on. What day are we on, Janner?
21st. You are on the third day.
I
Oh,
got.
God, why do I have the gathering table?
How does this work, Jenner?
Oh, okay. So you scroll down, and you'll see the gather button.
Okay.
Alright. I got 1 day of free time.
Oh, this is while we're traveling. Okay. Then it will
Yeah.
be the day at the end that you'd actually help me.
Perfect. Because as far as I recall, I'm currently in the process of making a pair bag of holdings.
A log.
So, I mean, this is all cool, but she wouldn't bring back a log. Like,
Here you go, Vel. Have
Yes.
a log.
So
Yeah.
you're looking for brightly coloured stuff. Okay, so
yeah, like I
Yeah.
see there's feathers, third row down, fourth
Yep,
column
yep.
on the right.
So I'll say, I mean, because you passed anyway, I'll give you a cluster of about 5 brightly coloured feathers.
Also, you're crackling a bit, Jay.
Oh no.
Probably the voice changer.
I will say the most interesting piece of thing you can probably find here is a pound of platinum ore.
Oh yeah, if you find that shit, bring it back. We can make a bank.
Remember that time Grunka found a giant greatsword?
Yeah.
Oh god, that was funny as hell.
Look what I got! Holy shit!
Just dragging it back. I found a thing.
Yeah. Of the more
Yeah.
interesting items just to find is Fey Dust.
Oh, I have
There's
a
the
ton of
colourful
that.
feathers in
Give
front
me-
of you, Liska.
Where do
I don't know. I think a rust monster antenna is pretty interesting.
True.
So yeah,
treasure
in your
creature
with your 20, yeah, your earlier survival check, yeah, you do find a small nest, kind of nestled up top of a mesa. That you find a cluster of loose raptidans, brightly coloured. These bright blue colours that sort of peter towards purple near the tips. Maybe if you sort of
Hey.
dry them out from the rain, you could certainly make use of them. David?
I'll do just that.
There's the feathers right in front of you. An item pile.
The feathers are blowing along with the wind for the Liska.
I'm just gonna fucking force comping this shit. Alright.
I'm currently having the image of Liska just walking along and somehow a fucking disconnected feathered arm just flies along in the wind and lands in her face.
So
Like, oh, I found some. I will give these to Vel later.
the road takes you through a region teeming with wildlife, which is where you found the raptor nest. Colourful birds flit between the trees, small mammals scurry through the underbrush. The greenery is growing more and more lush. It's a contrast to the barren plains left behind. There's a sparse areas of trees around you, nothing that could be considered fully encasing jungle canopy just yet. And around midday, you encounter a small pack of raptors kind of stalking through the grass that's growing taller as you venture across the plains here. A brief, tense standoff ensues, but they eventually move on as the massive steam hammer tank rumbles over the hill, and they scurry and move on. And as you make camp, the sun sets long in the shadows. The distant roars and calls of nocturnal creatures remind you of the wildness of this land. Again, if anyone wants to stop me, feel free, else I will continue on.
Down this road. I'm just looking at the map of Tanzia. Do we have all the quest markers placed on the main map?
Double check.
Yeah. As far as I recall, the main map has main quest markers along with some side quests.
Because there's a quest marker that's gone I'm looking for it. My dragon
I
hunt thing.
can barely hear you
Dragon
at this.
Dino hunt. Sorry, I'm speaking softly. I was looking for the marker that had the area for my little dino hunt.
Ah, the Bloodhorn
I
contract.
remember it being somewhere.
Yeah,
to
I don't think that was ever
the
active.
west.
Yeah,
It
because
should be. I
should be.
activated it.
that has a time limit of 30 days from when you
Oh shit, we can get on that.
yeah it's
Is that because it's a hunt's quest?
it's a hunter's keep quest, hunter's keep contract. Because when you accept that, typically there is a time period of 30 days.
Well, shit.
I was just trying to. Okay.
I don't think there's been 30 days,
It's not been 30 days now.
so it's still good.
We need to track this fucking thing at
Let
some
me
point.
go to my journal and try and see, because I got. Well, I don't know, because
There's no-
I
It
wanted
This
to
is
do
in the
it, but
Tanzanian
then-
wilds.
Yeah, according to the contract,
Excellent.
the last place Bloodhorn was seen was in the Tanzan wilds.
So we're heading towards him.
Perfect. Because that's what I was wondering, because I know. Because I'm confused if this is tied to the Hunter's Keep, because it was a failed Hunter's Keep that nobody would take.
Yeah.
But then there's this dwarf that I was seeking out to do a favor for.
Oh,
have them
right.
acknowledge me.
Right, I get you. So,
Yeah,
So
but then
it
you
isn't
had
a
them
hunter's-
approach. No, because you had them approach Liska and take it as an official Hunter's Keep thing. Remember? She was a bit miffed about that.
Well, asked if we could, but I don't remember. I'm not going to put words in your mouth. I don't remember her actually saying we could do this. Because he was trying to get a job with them. They wouldn't take it. I said, could we take it? Or could we do this, since they won't do it?
yeah.
Because he's not part of the Hunter's Keep to even take it. At this point, he's trying to
I know,
negotiate
that's-
with...
He asked Liska to do it, which is why we have the contract.
for the party to do it.
I mean, sure, but you went through Liska. Like we have it. It is a Hunter's Keep contract. Like we
Yeah.
have bounty items and harvest,
And-
total value.
I do recall Angus went to the was a dwarf friend of his, a dwarf contact from Mayland, Mr. Beastbane, I believe, who was seeking to down this creature independent of any efforts from the Hunter's Keep, purely for its hide as a crafting material.
Okay.
And I think Angus made some pass at hey, maybe we can help you out by doing this ourselves instead of going through the Hunter's Keep. And then I think he went to Liska to try and talk about the contract, but Liska was like, no, this is Hunter's Keep contract. Can't recall exactly the conversation.
To be fair,
Me neither.
Yeah.
this was months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is why now things are coming up, and I'm like, hey, what's this? I have a side quest here, because it's not just a Hunter's Keep. It was for someone to recognize Angus,
Yeah.
a noble to recognize Angus as claiming the hold, which is why he's insistent that this gets done, because it's not just a Hunter's Keep job to him.
Yeah.
Right.
So
At this
you
point, he
went
doesn't
to,
care about that. It's yeah.
So you went to the guy, and you're talking yourself up to get plowed for Angus, and you're like, hey, I have a Grand Huntress of the Hunter's Keep from Dune Hollow that can totally do this. Like, she'll totally hook you up. He said that before he talked to Liska. And then the he went to Liska. She was a bit miffed about him agreeing for her to do stuff without actually talking to her. And she's like, I'll think about it. And then she went to the head of the Hunter's Keep in whatever place they were at. And he was like, oh yeah, we do have a contract. And she's like, okay, fine, I'll do it. And she went back to Angus, be like, yeah, like, I've accepted the contract. Because
Right, okay.
Grand Hunter Vorsha.
That's it,
on the
yep.
way.
I don't think he's. As a player, I wouldn't want to sell you and what you would do and agree for things. Or you saying this person will do that with you having no say. But I know he was definitely saying, I'm traveling with this person. If they do it, we guarantee, right? Right. If they take it, you're in good hands in that regard. Like, trying to work around, but I don't ever want to, like, sign you up for something that you don't want to do as a player. So if it did come across that way, my bad.
I mean, it's all good. Like, it's happened. It's in the past. Like I said, she was miffed about it in the moment, but it's since
Yeah, it happens.
since moved on.
Yep. Alright, so I don't. Yeah, it's definitely not been 30 days, at least. So contract's still good, but as you kind of settle down for the.
I was gonna say, is it 30 days? Because your contract only says 5.
It should be 30 days. I'm not sure why it said 5. That's probably my
I
error.
think that's because you probably copy pasted
Yeah.
from prior ones.
Yeah, that's
Makes sense.
probably it. So it should be 30 days. Sorry, my bad. But as you all settle down for the evening, want to say anything, want to do anything, feel free.
Yeah, the Jarl's gonna look for Angus.
All right. So you settle down
What time is it?
for camp. Go.
Okay. Yeah, here. Where would Angus be at the moment?
What time of the day is it?
Just look up in the top left.
Close to the evening, it
about-
would seem.
It's 7, just shy of 7 p.m. He would likely be in the tower. Yeah. Armed for each door not within. What? I'm not clicking on a door. It keeps spamming that a door is locked.
It's been doing that to me,
Okay.
even though I haven't touched anything in the wagon.
Fun. Anyway, at this point, he'd likely be in the tower. And you see him on one of the workbenches. You know, he's fiddling away with the flask and channeling magic into it. Several runes laid out. And you can see him with a couple of the coffee beans. Essence being drained from them and siphoned in.
Jarl would probably approach very tentatively with a teacup in her hand as she was drinking tea. Slightly raps on the door. May I come in?
Oh, hey. And there is a mutterance in the door. Tink, and everything opens and swings open. Come on in. Grab a seat. Upends a bucket for you to sit on. Looks at you. Right, and he puts the bucket back, realizing you can't sit on it.
I appreciate.
Sits back down at his stool. What is it? Let me just, and he kind of carefully scoots some stuff to his side. Good to see you. Good to. I was bringing you into the humble tower of Us.
Right. Well, I've been wanting to ask you about those things we picked up in the Dragon's Rider's tomb. Those ruined parchments that the corpse
Oh,
had.
hey. Let's see. As he's digging around. See, there's one. And he slaps something on the table. 2 and 3. That's all I found.
Great, because I have 4 in my possession. That's the only 3 I need. Before continuing on that, she grabs the parchments and put them in her bag of holding. Can we?
They actually go
Can we-
through.
Yeah, I got one of them.
One or-
Can we renegotiate a little bit on when we did the crafting we did Ringgold? I'm sorry, I hate Trey tongue. I really do.
The Ruin Gold.
Yeah, where you and me used to get together and I transmute you, make Ringgold, that type of thing.
Oh, that wasn't Ruin Gold. That was slats. But yes, I was making a different crafting material. No, the Ruin Gold was something very different. That was, I think I made some thread for you. Did you get
right.
the robes before we left?
No, she was still working on them. They should be coming fairly soon. I really want to see how they turned out. Yes, I always assumed those were Rune Gold. They looked pretty. Yes, I would like to continue this as, but can we do a slight alteration on the agreement we had? If that's okay?
It kind of quirks an eyebrow. What do you need to alter? I know we spent a little bit of time working it out in terms of pricing.
It's not pricing, it's more... She stops and rubs her chin. It's more of besides a financial benefit, compatriot benefit. In the sense that I'll be real, I hardly know you besides what you told me, and likewise, I guess you don't know much of me as well. So could we exchange stories, talk throughout this process instead of keeping it air quotes business?
Yeah. Absolutely. I just keep things more professional during the work time, because if I get yabbering, I'll get yabbering, and then I might not do the working. You know, it's not you. It's just
No, it's
Kinda
not
how I feel.
that. It's more or less that I'm not sure if you know this, but I've been to other people who have worked as teams, and we don't. On the field of battle, we act like a well-oiled machine, like your tank, efficient, but afterwards, we kind of don't talk to each other. We don't, like, have that connection that I see with other people in the past I've dealt with. They chat, they joke, they laugh. Where's that with us?
Well, we've had a few discussions recently in certain ways that things were handled. And I think I tried to show care and concern, and maybe that language of care came across wrong, right? And I'm not sure how. Maybe it's dwarf versus Naga? Maybe it's different culture in the way that we express things. We tend to be a bit more like direct and such. I meant to be nice about certain things, but it probably definitely came out wrong. And I've been a little more distant because it's hard for me to tell at times what's nice and caring and friendliness and what's me coming across as a jerk. So I've been a little hesitant, not because I have anything against you or I don't care, but because I don't want to tread on any tails. I'm not really great with people.
She just looks, gives a slight turn behind her, like, I know someone else who is not great with people. Okay, so instead of you trying to change, why don't I try and change? What is it that dwarves consider friendly?
Business. Well, maybe I should clarify. Working together and making things is a big part of positive relationships. It's one of the most important aspects to dwarfdom. The result of what you make together shapes a relationship and how people view it, including those within it. We're very industrious people, and in many ways, it's more important to a dwarf to say, "This is my business partner," than "This is my spouse." Honestly, in many ways, they're seen as one and the same when it comes to, say, instead of producing a good, you produce a child. It's an interesting culture. From what I've heard, it's a bit different than what you do. I think it's quite fine, but what do I know? I'm biased.
I can tell.
When I like to make things with you, it's me saying, I trust you're the best person to make something precious. Me just chatting along and doing things like that, it feels like it's hot air that doesn't substantiate to anything. But fighting together, that does. Making things, that does. That's just my thought. I'm down to chat and have fun and visit and do all these things that is friendly to you. I don't think just you have to change. I think I should change and adapt because, well, it's fair. I'll grow for you. I'd like to be more friendly. I just need to know how. Do you
Well,
like to drink?
I do. It's grown on me, and she. It has really grown on me.
He slowly reaches for his flask.
I wouldn't mind a drink right now.
Something on the mind to drink about, or just celebrations?
A little bit of something on the mind. You know those items that we got from those unsavory folk in the fifth tomb? I had a thought to trade them to Ida for, if I remember correctly, and this was just in passing, in the Library of Cosali I found some descriptions of very rare manuals. Now I can't quite remember the name of these manuals, but if I talk to Ida and the prices of these cloaks and daggers can sum up a bit for at least one, I could perhaps get one to aid you. I'll get one for myself later, but better to aid the party than to be greedy.
Oh, I mean, no, he kind of thinks. Can I be honest with you for a moment?
Please do. I love honesty.
He sort of smiles and places a heavy hand on your shoulder. I'm greedy. I just think I'm a normal dwarf, but collecting shiny trinkets and baubles and things that you like, I just think I'm a passionate collector. Others say it's being a greedy twat. But I also think it's okay to be a little bit greedy and advocate for yourself. If you don't make sure you get your own meal and aren't willing to set up for it, well, you might be hungry at the end of the day. But we're also a group, so sharing's vital. Thank you for considering that. I'd be happy to pitch in the pot. It sort of sounds like if we're wanting to trade things, then you might want, maybe the dagger or a robe that I've got. I intended on keeping them to study them, to be honest. Figure out how they worked to see how we could repulse such things in the future.
I see where you're coming with this. I've already understood the robe itself, and it uses the spell. I'm not entirely sure what they did, but the spell locate creature, and the dagger uses a interesting modification to chill touch. However, you are the crafter. If you need to keep one of the daggers and the other robe, by all means. It's just gotta be frank here.
Yes.
If we ever need to do a stakeout thing again, it's either going to be a 2-person or 3-person job. And if we ever do one, I would like you to come along with me if we do that.
Ooh. First off, thank you for Thank you for trusting me. But we'd need some mighty magics. You see, I'm not the spry young lad I was before my service. I'm quite bad at those things.
He takes a little vial. Looks like there's ghostly liquid into it. That won't be a problem. See, with some alchemical work and some herbalism knowledge, the oil of Ethereum, etherealness. Wow, words. Blech. The oil of etherealness.
He says to you in giant, oil of etherealness.
Response in giant, yes. I am.
It's tight tongue, lass.
You would think it would be easy, but it's not. Anyway, yes, with this, you can basically be there without being there. And she gestures to all of you. With your armor, that won't be a problem. It lasts for quite some time.
No jingles?
None. They won't be able to hear you, let alone see you.
Well, alright, then I'm in. Thank you. I tend not to go on these scouting type missions because I jingle and I shake and I'm loud.
See, I've always worked in a 2-person squad or 3. I've worked in a larger number before, but with a 2-person, I would need someone who is good at getting in the fray without being seen. I can take care of that. And someone who has my back if things get really dicey. I had that with my partner who is missing, but since he is no longer here, if I can aid or enlighten you in the ways of doing this, if for some reason I am disposed or, dawn forbid, gone, you would know how to take care of it.
Yeah, I just got, he ruffles around in his shelf, knocking some things over, pulls out a scroll case, pulls out a unusual looking sort of spell. Probably not something that you could read, but I've got a spell here that brings you back right and jiffy if it's only been a minute or so. And then I've got a big old diamond somewhere around here. And, you know, if you've been dead for quite a time, it'll bring you back no matter what, as long as you at least want to.
Angus,
This is, temporary with me.
I'm glad it is, because, ever since being in this group, and before it, death has been clinging to me, something fierce.
Yes, well, he's an old friend, and he'll come for you in time. He gave you the gift of life for now, and because it's temporary, it's so precious, right? That's my view, at least. Yeah, I don't know what yours are. But, if you're worried about it being reaped before you're ready, I've got your back. Oh, speaking of reaping, stabs a dagger on the table. It's an awakened dagger. I've got a few of these, and I'd like to give you a couple for that trade. Help out.
That means I greatly appreciate it. You didn't happen while we were in that God-forsaken place. Find any mushrooms that were phasing in and out.
Should I have not grabbed them if I did?
I mean, if you grab them, those are very rare. Please tell me you grabbed them.
Let's just have a look here.
Those are very hard to find.
He's just looking over it. Do they have a good name for them?
He's going to look in her little journal. Give me 1 second. Oh boy. Alright, here he is in the herbalism ledger with warping wisp.
Is it one of these? Wait, hold on. He puts on a glove, a big leather glove, and then reaches in his bag holding and pulls out a blue shimmering looking fungus.
Yes, those.
Do you need some? I was going to use them for a special brew.
Did you just
How many?
eat one?
No, he blinked it in the chat.
Okay.
How many do you have exactly? I just need 2. So I can make
3.
more. You know what? Keep 2. Just give me 1, so I can make another batch of that oil.
Okay. I hope you realize that by giving you mushrooms, you realize I don't do this to just anybody. I love these things.
He's
I'm teasing.
I appreciate this, Angus. I'll let you know how Asnaka's view on friendship a little later, over a few drinks, but I wouldn't mind learning some dwarven insults, if that tickles your fancy.
Yes, I'll be happy to. Here's one of my favorites.
Hooray, the button works. Very important to test.
Yes.
Damn, that's quite,
What
that's
damn?
quite sad.
Spicy. It's really important that you call them thin-framed. Oh, a lad hates it when you call them thin-framed. Nothing sadder than the wiry dwarf. Anyway,
Especially when you.
I'd like to know what you think is a friend as well.
Yes, for Naga, it's one that you could say shares not only stories but ideals, aspirations. It's like you're weaving a story together, one that, though you're far apart, you can come back and add new threads to the tale, like you never left. It's kind of similar to how you describe dwarves, but it's more emotional. Because we don't know if we will come back and finish the story or see each other again, since we're very nomadic.
We tend not to be. I guess I'm a bit unusual of a dwarf to be traveling so much. But if you're on your nomadic journey, perhaps spinning your own thread, well, when the time comes, I'm happy to take a turn, write a chapter with you. Make sure it's a good story if it starts to go a little bit sad, eh?
To be completely transparent, as many sad times I've had, every last one of you is a happy memory to me. One that I would not trade all the platinum in the world for.
I'm glad. Then do me a favor, and don't go running off into the thick of it and getting bonked on the head and forget those memories. I'd be just as happy to make them all over again. So actually, on second thought, if you do, I won't hold it against you. And he kind of like looks down and lifts his eyebrows up and kind of go like, eh?
She gives a smile, though. It's through the smile there is a something in her eye, and she quickly turns away. Sorry, some dust got into my eye.
I'm not great with these types of conversations, lass, but thank you for sharing them. I'm not a very happy man, and I try and diffuse things with humor. You know, act jolly and you become jolly. All that goodness. I'm hoping it's true.
Well,
But, it means a lot you shared that.
I would say that we're two peas in the pod then. Since I can't really be happy with all she just gestures to her head. My brain being the way it is. Being smart is great, but it's a burden. One that sometimes you're misunderstood. With with everyone around here, it's a little bit easier. So I thank you for that as well.
Hey, and there's been times where maybe I didn't understand, and I tried to. And he kind of glances to the side where her spell book, at least normally she keeps it. And maybe I didn't do it so tactfully. But I do want to understand. And let you know that I appreciate your knowledge. Enough so that you remember that large fuck owl crystal that I carried out of the chamber?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I might have it in the tower here. and plan to use it to break down, one of these, as he points to the daggers on the table. And
I
I'd
see.
like to share that knowledge with you. Given who you are and what you do, I couldn't think of a better person to intimately know how these things are made and unmade. Maybe it will make your special job a bit easier.
One can only hope, but enough. Many hands make light work, and I would appreciate all hands to help me with that burden.
Right then.
So thank you. How many cups of coffee have you had?
I haven't. He looks to the little craft he pushed aside. I'm making my special pitcher now. I've got this idea for a special vase. A pitcher full of endless coffee. I'm making it out of a highly conductive metal. I plan to put it in the hot parts of the pipes, so that way when the steam hammer is going, it will naturally heat things up.
I assumed you had a lot of coffee since a lot of beans were around, so...
No, they're part of making the magic item itself.
I see.
I'm in the meantime using this, and he's pointing towards a magical, just from you can tell from the little shimmering and glowing runes, gorget, a throat guard, and it's thrumming with a little bit of energy. Hardens me and helps my tests of body. In times of uncertainty, it bolsters me. I haven't had to use it just yet, but I'm feeling tonight I may.
I hope it works. I'm going to be taking a cup of coffee later so I can scribe some scrolls into my grimoire here. I've been lacking on that.
I may join you between reading the book. If, that was an invitation.
But of course.
Well, I suppose we should get back to, our business. Oh, on, the renegotiations. Was it just wanting to talk more during things, or did you need to, like, adjust compensation?
It was just talking more. I want to get to know my business partner more.
I'd be right happy to. Do you want to work and chat in the morning?
Yes, that would definitely be ideal.
Sounds grand to me. Right then. I'd better get back to my work, but I'll be seeing you come the dawn.
Have a good night.
Maybe for that coffee later.
Yep. Have great endeavors in your work, Angus.
Oh, I'll be paying you back in coffee for it soon enough, lass. Soon enough.
I'll keep you to that.
Have a grand night.
You
With
too.
that, he goes back to channeling his work.
Right.
And the Jarl leaves.
So, Vellum and Liska, would you like to bring your conversation to the forefront, or are you happy to have that in the
I don't know.
background?
I think it might be coming to its end. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think, Eamon?
I mean, it is kind of coming towards its end, but we can go for a little while longer if you want.
No, no.
up
If
to
it's
you.
naturally coming to its end, then yeah, no point in bringing it to the foreground.
Yeah.
Alright then. So, as you all begin to head off to your respective rest spots, whether or not you choose to sleep, up to you. Soyun, what are you doing?
Well, as she's been working sort of late into the night with her various projects of her own, mainly the bag of holding, she's been eyeing a piece of infused jade on and off most of the time, pondering it for ideas. Sometimes even holding it up, just sort of seeing how light reflects on it, through it. It gives her more questions than any answers. And probably in her tired mind, she's gonna fall asleep with it in her hand.
Alright. As you kind of drift into sleep, your mind is filled with the echoes of the day's events, the travel you've been taking part in. Remember the sights and sounds of Itzel, mingling with the familiar glow of the infused jade. And those sounds are... That's odd. The infused jade... Why is it familiar? You've heard tales of how memories often find their ways into dreams, sparked by familiar sights, smells, sensations. In the quiet of the night, as your body kind of settles into the rhythm of sleep, your mind becomes a canvas upon which these memories paint themselves. That unmistakable presence of infused jade, it's a sensation you've felt before. A potent energy that's never really found its true potential. As you sink deeper into slumber, you kind of feel your fingers twist and turn the glowing green crystal in your hand. There's lots of untapped potential in this. You remember thinking that once. The sounds of the city are distant now. The familiar smells of street cooking that used to waft through the window during your childhood. You shift in an uncomfortable position, kind of seated cross-legged on the floor within a spacious room. You hear talking. A lecture taking place, but you're not listening to any of it at all. You look out the window over the vast cityscape, high within your family's noble estate. Situated in the wealthier districts of Juinlu City. The room is filled with the scent of old parchment and ink. The walls are lined with scrolls, maps, and traditional military artifacts, paper talismans scrawled with delicate black ink. There's a set of Kusari armor, once used by a famous samurai warrior of the Ashikaze lineage, that stands proudly in one corner, alongside an ornate katana mounted on a wall nearby. Sunlight streams through the open window, casting long shadows across the wooden floor. Outside, the grand vista of Juinlu City stretches out before you, revealing its immense scale. The city, the largest and densest in the known world, sprawls as far as the eye can see. The view reveals a cityscape of contrasts. The orderly and elegant, weathered, wealthier districts around the palace, and on the horizon the towering, ramshackle structures of the overbuilt and overcrowded lower districts. The narrow streets below are alive with the sounds of merchants calling out, children laughing, the constant hum of activity. Bustling markets and vibrant architecture create this colourful tapestry that both fascinates and distracts you. You and your siblings are seated cross-legged on the floor, desks in front of you, writing in calligraphy, diligently noting down everything the tutor says. Or at least, most of you are. The tutor, an elderly figure with a stern countenance, stands at the front of the room, lecturing on the strategies of Tao Shun, the renowned author of The Art of War. His gravelly voice echoes in the quiet room as he emphasizes the importance of tactics and discipline. And he calls out, "And thus, a skilled commander must be able to adapt in any situation, understanding both the strengths and weaknesses of his forces." But your attention is elsewhere. You continue to turn the object in your fingers, a small mechanical toy that sits in the palm of your hand. A bird with delicate flapping wings, crafted by your uncle, Jujin. It's easy to be captivated by its intricate designs and the faint glow of green light within. They'd always say that little girls shouldn't mess around with dangerous inventions. But even at your young age, you were always fascinated to some degree by complex contraptions, always wanting to know how these things worked. Sometimes taking apart priceless watches imported from the far west, much to your father's chagrin. But you were never alone in your mischief. You were always joined by Tao Yun, practically a mirror image of yourself. And you catch glimpses of him kind of looking over to you from his own desk as you examine the toy. Whenever your eyes meet, they widen in amazement at the contraption in your hands. You feel a jab at your back. So, pay attention. There'll be a test on this tomorrow.
Don't worry. I've already done this twice.
You kind of turn around to say this, and behind you is Jin Yun, your firstborn brother. A few years older than you, he's growing up to be a warrior, and is in the middle of his training. His short-cut black hair is tied up in a tight bun in the back, almost a spitting image of father. The tutor's voice cuts through the air. Tao Yun, you must focus. The lessons of Tao Shun are vital for any future leader of the Ashikaze family.
He just sighs, nods respectfully. As much as she wants to argue, there is no point with this man.
The tutor continues his lecture. His words a steady rhythm in the background as you try to balance your focus between the lessons and the captivating invention before you. Around you, your brothers sit, each reacting their own way. Lao Yun, a wolf-bite scar prominent across one side of his head, concentrates intently on his writing, a determined expression on his face. His broad shoulders and rugged appearance, even at this young age, speaks of resilience and strength. At least that's the outward demeanour he's presenting. Every so often he'll crack a snicker as he passes a note towards Wang Yun. Wang Yun is a stocky and he's broadly built for someone so young. He kind of cracks a boyish grin and passes another note forward. Lao and Wang, they've always been close. The twin terrors around the estate, they used to call them. Lin Yun, the smallest and smartest, second to you, diligently copies down every word, his hand moving swiftly across the parchment. Slender frame and keen, intelligent eyes seem to miss nothing. But as the lesson draws to a close, the tutor looks around the room, noting the varied reactions of his students. Each of you has a role to play in the future of the Ashikaze family. And he then turns to you. And then also frowns at Tao Yun, a look of concern evident in his face. Sao Yun, mechanical skills are unique, but you must not let them distract you from your training. Mother has told you about how dangerous these things are, and he holds out a hand expectantly. Give it here.
She pauses for a moment and just looks at the contraption. And just looks up at him and holds it up expectantly, not to give it to him, but presenting it. And how dangerous is this?
You know what your father has said about his inventions. As you kind of hesitate for that moment, kind of captivated by the allure of that mechanical toy.
It's a harmless toy. As much as my father says they're dangerous, he refuses to understand them.
He knows the dangers of infused jade better than you do.
So he keeps saying.
Sayun, please. Kind of holds out his hand, more sternly this time.
Zion in sort of, not defeat, but just almost wanting him to just take it. She just holds it out, not out of reach of his grasp, but just so he has to take it delicately.
He reaches out, places a thumb and forefinger on either end of the delicate wings, gives you a look, and then slowly lifts it from your grasp, and just sort of delicately tucks it within the folds of his robe.
If one does not know what they're dealing with, one should treat it with care. Same principle behind an army you do not know. You must prepare accordingly. You cannot expect infantry, cavalry, or archers if you do not know what they are bringing.
You are diligent listening to your training, Sayun. That much I respect. But these are ultimately distractions. It's at that point you see Tavian kind of senses your senses your turmoil here, kind of casts you a sympathetic glance. His eyes kind of silently urging you to stand your ground. But the tutor's gaze remains fixed upon you. And with that heavy heart, you surrender that toy, allowing the tutor's outstretched hand to take it. The tiny green light pulsates softly beneath the small metal frame of the bird. A silent reminder of the power it holds and the mysteries it conceals. And the tutor nods in satisfaction. But his expression is softened slightly as you reply. There is greatness within you, Sayu. It must be tempered by discipline and restraint. I have told you this before.
And sometimes discipline feels like a cage with chains. She retorted back, not to diss him, but to poetically, illustrate that discipline is a dual-sided thing. Too much, it becomes a problem. Too little, yeah.
He sighs, gives a frustrated sigh, but ultimately allows you to have the last word. And he turns to the rest of your brothers. You're all dismissed. Return before sundown. As your consciousness ebbs and flows, the boundaries between one dream and the next seem to blur and meld together seamlessly. The transition is almost imperceptible, like the shifting of shadows in the flickering light of a torch. Your father inherited this estate from his father and his father before him. It's been in the Ashikaze family for generations, each member leaving their mark on its grandeur. The estate is renowned in the upper districts of Juinlu, an oasis of beauty and tranquility that offers a breathtaking vista of the sprawling city below. The high walls protect it from the chaos and overcrowding that Juinlu is infamous for, creating a serene island amidst the city's tumultuous din. Hang on. The estate seamlessly blends the lush greenery of meticulously maintained gardens with the commanding architecture of the Celestial Empire. Your father, Hyojin, always favoured open plans, allowing the natural world to flow effortlessly into the stately halls and chambers. But as you move through the grand estate towards your father's office, the night breeze caresses your skin, carrying the symphony of cicadas that have found refuge in this verdant sanctuary. The contrast between the serene, ordered beauty of the estate and the frenetic, crowded city below is striking. The upper districts of Juinlu, where your home stands, it's a testament to wealth and power, far removed from the teeming masses and narrow alleyways that characterize the lower districts. But tonight, your curiosity has gotten the better of you. You saw your father enter his office with Tien, your tutor. Their expressions serious and intent. Something about their demeanour sparked your interest, compelling you to follow them quietly. As you kind of creep through the moonlit corridors, your footsteps light and careful, there's that a mix of trepidation and anticipation. Finally, you reach the slightly ajar door of your father's office. Peering through the gap, you see Hyojin, standing beside Xian. And inside the opulent office, Hyojin stands tall and resolute, wearing an ornate powerful robe, his presence commanding in the room. Across him stands the tutor, his expression grave as he presents an intricate toy bird, a creation of gears and glowing green mechanisms. Your father, their voices are subdued. Do you listen intently, your heart pounding in your chest as you realise the gravity of this situation? Your father's brow furrows in concern. Xian, he addresses the tutor with a mixture of weariness and frustration. Another one of my brother's contraptions. This is becoming tiresome. Thought we'd put an end to his meddling long ago. The tutor, Xian, nods solemnly, his expression mirroring Hyojin's concern as he gazes down at the toy bird in his hand. Indeed, my lord. It seems that Jujin's influence still lingers despite our best efforts to suppress it. And a heavy sigh escapes Hyojin. What of Xiaoyun? Did she offer any explanation for how she came into possession of this device? Xian hesitates, his gaze flickers with uncertainty as he chooses his words carefully. She claims to have no knowledge of its origin, my lord. Given Jujin's recent visit to her, it seems likely that he left it to her as a gift, as I suspected. Hyojin's expression softens, a mixture of frustration and concern evident in his features as he pinches his brow. I understand my brother means well. But he must realize his tinkering can be dangerous. Xiaoyun's training is of utmost importance, and his distractions could put her at risk. Xian adds, his voice grave. And let us not forget the dangers of infused jade. Its powers are not to be underestimated. Agreed, Hyojin replies. Jujin must exercise caution in his experiments, lest he unwittingly put Xiaoyun in harm's way. And in the hallway beyond, unseen and unnoticed, you stand frozen. How does Xiaoyun react?
Well, she doesn't verbally put anything into motion. Her reaction is disappointment. She knows what she's good at, she knows what interests her, and yet, time and time again, father knows better.
Seem your uncle's action have once again drawn unwitting attention and scrutiny upon you.
She stays for a moment before just deciding it's better to leave before either of them decides to leave unannounced.
Alright. You continue away from your father's office, begin to make your way back over the estates, back towards you and your brother's communal room. And you see I missed my notes. You see there, kind of sitting up in his bed, Tyrion kind of giving you that sympathetic glance. He knows what's going on.
In a quiet, almost annoyed tone, she just once again, and he knows what she means.
Mm-hmm. A silent glance of understanding. Two similar minds. And then, with a sudden shift in the currents of your mind, the dream dissolves into darkness. You reawaken to the sunlight streaming through the tower.
With a pause as she's sort of blinking and reminiscing, she looks back to the piece in her hand and almost defiantly, she lets it slide into her palm and then grips it firmly. I'm gonna make something out of this.
With that new burgeoning motivation, you begin preparation for the day ahead. And unless there's any objections, I'll continue on the road.
Oh, it's some hella cool lore drop. It's always good to learn more, to learn more about that part of the world.
Hey, if you can't get there immediately, I'll bring it straight to Zion.
I'll plant the dreams into your brain. Question though, what day of travel are we on again?
You are on the
fourth day.
Fourth
This
day.
is now 4.
Okay.
Again, stop me if you want. I'll just continue on with the days ahead.
Yeah, mine's likely gonna be day 5 or 6, like
Sure.
as we're approaching Django.
So
I have my plan already laid out.
the air gradually becomes thicker with humidity as you approach the edge of the Tanzan wilds. You can see on the horizon. The vegetation grows denser, the sound of the jungle becomes more prominent in the distance. Sun beats down mercilessly in the afternoon. Strangely enough, there is this constant drizzle of ever-present rain that signifies the monsoon season is present here.
Oh boy.
So I was just looking around. Part of her is reminded of rain season back home when it hits. And with the dream last night, it's an odd comfort.
So, would you like to make camp? Or shall we continue on?
I mean, it depends. Does Grunka want to scavenge?
Oh,
Look at him go.
9, unfortunately, not able to find much.
It's dirt and rain.
And somebody.
And rain.
Check it
and
out, I
dirt.
found mud.
Good job, Brunka.
Thank
I found some more.
This gathering spot has been. Someone's already tried to gather here. I can't gather.
Oh wait, hang on. Let me go ahead and fix that for you.
My mud. Can't have this
Grunka
mud.
took all of the mud, and so you couldn't find anything.
There you go.
There's not no mud left inside.
Ooh.
Dog.
And
I
then
see
the
ore and I
mud
get my
was-
hopes up, and then it's shit like zinc.
Zinc!
Zinc and
Hell
lime.
yeah, dude. We need zinc.
That's how you make brass.
Mm-hmm. Could
There's-
potentially find
there's-
some
there's
use
copper
in.
and tin, but zinc is also zinc is
Zinc is sometimes used
zinc
as
stainless
a.
steel. Is that what I'm thinking?
Sometimes zinc is mixed in small parts, but it's usually just a piecemeal part of it.
I'll also say,
Thank-
considering you're also looking for feathers, I'll say yeah, there are about three more colourful feathers.
Hell
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
I'm gonna make some pretty as fuck shit.
There we go.
Zinc
I'll
is
just
highly flammable.
Oh, yeah.
Cause fire explosion in air.
I love how half are just like, fuck yeah, colourful feathers, and the other half quiet mumblings about the flammability of what we
I'll just plot those in
Fuck yes,
front of you.
fireworks.
Hey, you be happy that my magnesium is currently in my fucking bag of holding.
My magnesium is also tucked away safely, harmlessly, not at all being
next
used
to this
for
open flame.
Velen,
disintegration pattern.
you wanted to say
no.
something in the downtime.
Oh, that was on like day 5, 6 evening, most likely.
Sure.
I thought we were on day 4, so I didn't say anything.
But in that case, I'll continue on. So day 5. The road takes you through the sort of this
Hey.
slight portion of low-hanging grasslands. And I've lost my place. Oh shit! Yeah.
Shit.
During
Buddy.
during the 5th day.
Oh, no, during the 4th night.
Oh, 4th night.
Because you skipped the other thing.
Yeah.
So while y'all are crafting, let's go find another pound of platinum. It's just like, all right.
And you see kind of
I keep finding these platinums. Like, yeah, she comes up with a fucking boulder of goddamn shiny rock.
Yeah,
It's like,
it-
I found these.
you see. Yeah, you find it in this sort of very deep crevice in the earth that it very easy to miss actually.
Nice.
you s-
A hunk of underfined money.
That's literally what it is.
I mean, it could be anything from just being slowly pushed upward through the earth, or just accidentally dropped ancient times ago by a merchant and it's just been sitting there.
I like to think the mud is just a mudslide has revealed it.
So
It's
with
fucking
day
shit.
5 coming and going, kind of forcing you to cut through a sort of overgrown patch of the stone here that kind of catches on the wheels of the steam hammer a bit. This road is mostly used to the large treads of animals, not the large treads of tanks. But it's easy enough to cut away. But eventually fireflies emerge as the darkness falls. Bioluminescent glow, adding this strange a touch of magic to the atmosphere here. The foliage is growing ever more denser. Willem,
Me.
you.
Sorry, I had to cough. Poor timing. So, damn it! Why is every literal bodily function I want to do, I want to stretch, I want to cough, fucking settle down, body. Anyway, Vellum is going to wait for a time where we're all convened, most likely during mealtime or afterwards. Everyone, I wanted to have a talk. Nothing serious, I think, but I wanted to come back to a topic we talked about before, but didn't seem like the time. And he sort of scans the group to see if there's any sort of... if anyone's just not in the mood or not in the state or stops him from continuing.
It's less that there's a reaction to stop him from Sao, but just an upquirk eyebrow as to what it is.
Well, he pauses, knowing there's nothing. He continues.
We talked a little about a thought, an idea I had, and people's worry. I'm talking about the idea of trying to talk to Mortifex. I've had a bit more time to think about it, now that we're not in the middle of a dark as shit tomb full of dead shit. And I'm still wanting to try it. There's a lot of reasons, and a couple of the ones I gave before have stopped making sense. I still think we need to know more about what's going on. More about the people she had dealings with, and besides that I got some answers of my own about her that are gonna start eating at me. I know it's a lot to ask, and I know it's doable. And I guess more than anything I'm asking for permission, because this is a big deal, especially for me, but I know everyone's got some kind of strong feeling about this one way or another. I'm just tired of being on the back foot, and I do think that she will, maybe not right away, but share what she knows. Because if I've learned anything, especially about that bitch, is that spite is a very powerful thing. And if you were betrayed right moments before your death, that's gonna linger. She may tell us what we want to know just for sake of getting her own back, or even if she doesn't think we can do anything, just so she can. There's risks, I know, but if I remember what Sao might have said, that there's a way to do it safely.
Well, the idea to do it safely is to create a temporary barrier, a middle ground. No direct interaction between the actual, sort of air quotes, cage of her and you.
And if I know anything, is that you know what you're talking about.
Honestly,
And
all I
I'm-
have is an idea right now. I still think it's an absolute terrible idea to even consider talking to her, but
I know
that's
it's
mostly because she tried to kill you. And
Oh, I remember. Well, she didn't want to kill me, she wanted to make me suffer. Big difference. But I think I might be better about that. I don't think I'm fully over it, but I mean, we days ago, week ago, however long ago, we fought in a pitch black room with a blackened dragon. It's not the same, but I held my own in that, with everyone's help as well. But I faced it. And if I could face something so similar, so like the moments I dealt with her, I think I can handle talking to a rock with her voice.
it's... Sal sort of looks over to both Deshar and Angus ever so slightly before looking back. It's not just talking to a rock.
Hey,
Someone's
if I can
talking to rocks.
chime in,
Go for it, I want to hear everyone's thoughts.
it doesn't have a voice right now. It's akin to a piece of coal. It's fuel. That's all this is. It's a prison for a soul that's a piece of coal
meant to power spells and recharge items by consuming the soul. It's a soul, whatever that may
just-
be.
I'm gonna jump on this, Angus, if I may.
Oh, please.
You're half right. With the spells I have learned, she does have a voice, only to those who know the spell. The issue comes in, which I advise against it, touching it to use said spell, and having her voice in your head. The other thing to alleviate that is, since we've been in that tomb, I found circles that can imprison instead of extract. So your idea, Salyun, is no longer just an idea, it is plausible.
And
I would...
I'm sorry, go ahead.
You say you understand the risks. I can tell you firsthand, you understand it verbally, not physically. If you want to do something like this, I'm glad you took the time to talk about it. We need to prepare a place to do it and make sure it is just either 3 questions or 1 and done. No lingering. If it is even possible at this point.
Well, I've
To
seen a lot of things that were impossible, and I've seen a lot of us overcome them. And it's put me in the mind state that nothing's really impossible if you take the time and you're careful about it. Especially with the minds and skills we got here. I'm not saying it has to be exactly like a spell or exactly like an item, but I think Sal's middleman idea has merit, and that may be a bit biased to me, but if we're careful, we can achieve a goal without anything bad happening. If we're worried about touching it, we just make a casing for it or something, a box, something to stop it from touching anything outside. If we're worried about what it is, just by nature of it, well, it's part of it is a fuel for magic, but just like a hammer can beat a skull in, a hammer can also make things. A soul is not just fuel, it's something with a mind and a voice, and it feels kind of a waste not to learn what we can from it in one way or another.
I'm still gonna put out the very big thing of he's likely gonna try and manipulate the ever-living shit out of you.
And she can
Any
fucking
of us,
try
actually.
and done with her.
hence the reason for the circle I put in. It suggested, Salyun, that within prison, it can possibly be modified.
I'm not even just talking
Here's a
about
concern.
spells. I'm talking about words.
If I can,
Go ahead.
if I could jive, he blinks one eye at a time.
That's the way of it.
You just said a soul is a mind and a voice. Could she still cast spells that only need a voice?
I
Could
don't-
she do something? And this might be more of a hypothetical question to Dejar, and we could imprison her, but if she's outside the stone, how do we know she can't go to another one of those jars and
See,
go back to her body if there's another body ready? Maybe those folks that we didn't kill of our clan got away and made one. or went back to where some special one was. The reason I'm so concerned about this is because we can't put her back again. And if her soul goes out and is lost again, just for the sake of trying to answer some questions when you could rightly care that there might be castings or even just manipulation, she could make your mind worse, lad. If it's what you really want to do, fine. Just know that there's consequences that could be very, very bad, and things that we may not be able to undo. But if you want to do it, I'm against it, but I won't stop you.
I will
Well,
alleviate. Hold
Sorry,
on.
go ahead,
Hold on.
Dejah, you're the experts.
I'm going to alleviate a few things. One, they can't. As far as those in my line of work and what I've researched, that type of knowledge is either lost or very hard to find. Two, it's if I don't think any of you have encountered what would be considered a soul orb. Once a soul is trapped into an item such as that, if the body's decayed and stuff, there is nothing to go back to. We kind of destroyed her means to have another one.
Yeah, and as far as I can tell, the goal ain't to let her out to say things, it's to find a way to talk to the stone, I guess is the best way to put it.
And here's what I propose to those who can craft with runes. I will give you the giant's encircling imprisonment, so you can modify it as it suits his needs. But I would also heavily advise Vellum. Are you sure you want to do this?
I'm sure there's
Because
too much to gain.
Yes.
Just leaving it.
So I'm curious about this.
Even quick question,
So-
sorry. You sometimes go very loud and then sometimes go very quiet. What's going on? I keep adjusting you, but you
Yeah,
definitely.
I've been noticing that as well.
You're welcome. I don't know. So,
Fair enough, carry on.
so
There's not
a
just
question. Hey, don't I've just started talking. Come fuck up.
yes, there's a lot to learn, but it's just
So what?
A
No,
lot.
stop.
Let
fine.
That we put in the edit.
Not
them
even say
speak.
their thing. They did start a sentence, to be
Yep.
fair.
So
there's a lot to be at risk too, because there could be eyes and ears around.
Haven?
we good? Can I start? Can I start talking? Are we good now? Can y'all hear me?
I can
Yeah.
hear you. I was
Okay.
being quiet so you could talk.
Well, no one was responding to the question I was asking.
Sorry, I didn't want to cause a kerfuffle and
Go.
cut you off.
Go,
So-
go even.
Liska's gonna look at Vellum. So I have a question to you, Vellum. You say that you want this to find out information on who or what the Mortithex was working with.
Yes, I know that she probably has a lot of information we don't have access to. She was dealing with this guy for, what, decades? Fucking who knows how long? Even if she don't got every single detail, which, with how she was, I feel like she would. Any information that she would have is more than we have now.
And so, is that the only information you have? You don't want to ask anything else?
There are a few things that have been bothering me, but I'm not going to get too ahead of myself. The priority is getting information about an enemy that we keep running into.
so we can be better prepared.
So
But
my
before
question,
all- Oh, sorry, go
well,
ahead.
my question is why do you have to be there?
I'm not
why
saying
do
I
you
have to be there.
involved?
I'm just saying I want us to have the option, and yeah, I would probably talk to her at some point, but the whole point of this is to get information from her. The reason I'm bringing this up myself is because, well, it's something I thought of, and I wanted everyone not on board, but first thing I want is to at least see if it's possible to safely do it. If it isn't, then we drop it. If it's not worth the risk, we just leave it. I want to at least see if it's possible.
If I can see. If that's the case, why did you bring up talking about that dark dragon before? Lad, to me it seems like a big part of this is closure. If that's what you need, that's alright.
That is part of it, but it's not the biggest part of it. If this works and, we get a safe way to talk to her, maybe eventually I'll look for closure, but that's not what this is about. This isn't about me. This is about giving us the edge we need against these fuckers that nobody's even fucking heard of until recently. And a problem we keep coming across. I mean, hell, the first time we saw that fuck in the mirror, he almost killed Sal. And then the next time he fucking showed up, a whole lot of bad shit happened. It's gonna get worse, and I'm tired of being behind it. We need to get in front of it.
Angus raises his hand once more. I had one of those special runes on me while I was wrestling for that soul. And he cast an instant kill spell on me that would have just ripped my soul from my body when I was feeling quite well and normally wouldn't have been affected by it. And that rune broke to save my life. He might have almost killed Sao. He would have killed me if it weren't for that. And if this is the herald that I'm thinking of, that's in the book, from understanding, he can cut through the weave of time and space anywhere at his leisure. Like there is those great grooves in the ground that just disappeared. We could start this, he could rip through and be immune to whatever spell Dajar has in mind that seals it, and just take the stone.
If he could do that,
That's
I feel
maybe
like
a worst case scenario.
I feel like. Sorry.
Maybe it's because it's trapped in a soul stone, trapped in a bag of holding, thrown away in an extra dimensional pocket that he can't get access to because it's not on this plane.
Well, we've had that out a couple of times now, and he hasn't done anything. So, what he did was when there was a mirror there. And if he has the ability to just show up wherever the fuck he wants, he would have done so and stopped us fucking with the shit. And you say about him using magic that could have ripped your soul out if it wasn't for your runes. Wouldn't you want to know anything else he could do? Avoid the surprise of him suddenly, I don't know, dropping lava on your face or turning your skeleton inside out. Wouldn't you want to know before we see him again?
I don't think she would know. She was a manipulated and used pawn. I mean, yes, I'd like to know these things, but not at the risk of what they are, to be honest. What could go wrong? Getting a manipulated puppet's word, which we don't even know is true, for the potential consequence doesn't sit well with me. Again, I don't like it. If you really want to do it, fine. I'm not going to go any further to stop it. I want you to be able to do what you got to do. I don't think it's worth it, personally.
All I ask is
But
that
if
we
you
see
do,
if it's possible
fine.
to safely do it. If it's not, then again, I'll drop it. But at least finding out if it's doable. We could learn a lot. We could learn things that could save our lives, and you may not think she knows much, but you don't spend decades talking and dealing with someone without learning something. And she's the kind of person who had precautions. She had these fucking extra bodies. She had shit in her own body to blow up if somebody killed her. You don't think she would have thought some I don't know, backup plans for dealing with this guy? She must have known something. She don't seem like the blind faith kind of lady.
Well, I definitely think we can ask about her backup plans, but I don't think we're gonna glean any important information about him. We already know what he's planning on doing. We learned that from the big crystal dragon lady. We know what we need to do to stop him. We learned that from the big spider lady. And we know what he's capable of. He's capable of just instantly killing you, teleporting throughout the different planes of existence, and likely, like all those legends you hear about super powerful casters, he's capable of literally doing anything. Like, how do you prepare for everything? You don't. You just prepare for the most likely, which, in this case, I would imagine Angus's whole "you don't die" spell. And that's how we get from there. I mean, I'm fine asking if you had any contingencies, but I think everything else is kind of moot. It's just from a fighter's perspective. I don't know.
Fat lot the contingencies did for her, but also, what was this about the crystal dragon?
Oh, giant crystal dragon. You know, the one that gave us that egg that we've been carrying around?
Yeah, I think we told you about that in Doonhall a while back. But a lot's happened since then.
She was the one that...
The prophecy.
Sorry, my
all that
mind's
stuff.
been busy.
Yeah.
Maybe I think I remember seeing a crystal dragon when I touched that egg, and I had a whole bunch of scary dreams. But okay. Kind of slaps his knees.
Oh,
Right
you
then.
mean this thing? And Vladimir, who's been kind of listening as she's been eating her supper, kind of takes out from her backpack that you helped her weave. This large, glowing crystalline egg.
Ah, that's right. There we go. I had almost had the piece of forgetting about that little important bit. He leans in to Vadima. Is there any more dragon eggs I should know about?
Not that I know about.
Yar would.
Don't worry about it. Shut up, Eamon.
We also have Vorthax's Gwynmar / diary. There's also a lot of things I was able to piece together. There's a lot of gaps in time with it. I would very much like to, if it's just me, to ask her questions about that. But other than that, all points are valid.
Thing is, we know what this guy can do because he's done them, but we don't know about what he hasn't done because we don't know. How can we fight an enemy when we don't know what they're bringing towards us?
I mean, he can do everything, Vellum. Like, he's like, I imagine the job on a scale of 1 to 10. Sorry, on a scale of 1 to 20, that seems like a decent number. How, like, where would you think he would be as a caster?
Either somewhere very high or somewhere deep below to where no one can reach him normally.
He's powerful.
But he's not all powerful. As
He might not be all powerful, but I'd say. Oh, by the way, I have the Journal of Braun. You know all those dead dwarves in that one room that had the decorated skull and the flowers. I have his journal. The lad I'm trying to meet at the temple of Cuticle.
Anzala.
And him. I'm thinking Cuticle.
That was such a big miss Angus.
Where the? Are you okay? Dijon's just gonna go to look at Angus. Are you
Have
okay?
you been sleeping? You look
No.
very tired.
Yes, I'm fine.
You should maybe sleep.
He
before we
blinks
hit the
again,
jungle.
one eye at a time.
Angus,
Hey, buddy.
you know, if you sleep too much, your brain will kind of fall apart.
Well, you know what? Okay.
We're gonna
But,
get a new.
But so
What was
he
he saying?
he was able to almost kill Angus with a single word. He brought back a beholder to life or to unlife. Like he is powerful enough to control an elder brain from those squid face people. Like he turned an ancient dragon into his zombie pet. Like I mean, let's just say he can do everything. Like I don't.
He
feel
also
You can't prepare
has
for
a
everything.
horse
that's what I'm
that
trying to
flies
tell
in
you,
the
Bella.
sky and rips through the air and took Braun over Mortal.
I'll
read
say
these guys.
this. Information is a very powerful commodity. I'll agree with you on that, Velm. However, how we go about it and the risks involved may not equate the value of the knowledge that we gain. It's just something to keep in mind while you want to do this. Because
I know.
sometimes... Let me finish.
Sorry.
For something you're gaining, you're going to sacrifice something for it. And sometimes it could be the very thing you don't want to sacrifice. Keep that also in mind. Because you're not the only one that could be put in danger.
No. And I know I have a
I
bad
feel like
habit
that's.
I have
Sorry.
a bad habit of getting ahead of myself, which is why I'm taking this seriously. I'm not thinking 10 steps ahead. I'm not thinking about what we want to get out of this. I'm going one little step at a time, and just having the thinking, having the sit down, looking at options, and seeing if it can be done safely. Then we can plan and think from there. We can come back and maybe realize this isn't worth it. We won't know until we think, until we look at the options, until we see what we
Alright.
can do.
Just
Well,
to
you
put a
have my
small,
support.
just to put a small end to this idea right now. Dejar and I, likely Angus, once he's gotten some sleep, will probably talk about it, figure out what our options are in terms of doing it as safely as we possibly can. But till we have an answer for it, leave it be.
That's all I ask.
Dejar did mention we could only ask 1 or 3 questions.
Well, maybe there's a way
Dejar-
around it too. Who knows?
Why?
Well, anything's possible apparently.
No,
Well-
no, I'm asking Dejar why's their limitation. What goes wrong if we ask
Oh,
more?
okay. Sorry, I'll shut up.
I'm gonna keep this as frank as possible. I've seen you use the spell, if I'm called correctly, Speak with Dead, yes?
Yeah, that's about right.
The spell I'm referring to, you can see through the dead's eyes, feel their experience. You can get a sensory being overwhelmed with it. If you ask too many questions, you can get quite loaded with too many answers, if you understand what I'm getting at.
Could it kill you or fry your brain or something like that?
In my line of work, you'll probably be dissociated. You won't tell what is your mind or your memories from someone else's. Hence the reason why I'm saying
Be
it's
like possessing you through that. Could you
No.
think you become her?
I haven't really delved that far deep into what ifs with the spell. That's why I'm saying limitations of it.
The limits
Yeah.
exist for a reason.
Right. Because anything beyond that might not be safe.
Exactly. The mortal mind can only handle so much until either it breaks beyond repair or fractures, and you'll never be the same again.
Only we could give it a fucking sending stone. That's always easier.
Nothing's really easy when it comes to magic. Please.
Yeah, I know. I like being
No,
optimistic.
Deshara, we'll talk about this later, but I think he might be onto something.
Okay, now I'm definitely scared.
The yard just slims her eyes, like, girl, I hope you have a excellent explanation for this. But I'm gonna be grilling you, type look in her eyes, looking at Sal.
Out of everybody in the immediate vicinity, Angus can tell that Sao is deep thinking, and it isn't just cogs that are turning; it's the whole fucking factory. So, I'll discuss this later after we've all gotten some sleep. But I think you will be very interested.
Especially you, Angus. You look like, you really look like you need it, and we're gonna be hitting new terrain soon.
Let's be honest, you look like shit right now.
Well, I mean, I wasn't gonna
Thanks.
say it,
What? I'll be honest.
I'm almost done.
Alright, once supper
Tonight's
here
the
is,
night.
once supper is done
Yeah.
and you're done with your little project, I am putting you to bed.
Better.
Alright.
The yard just gives both of them a look like, whatever.
but... Right, so... Glad that's finally out there. Let's, everyone enjoy your night. I'm gonna... probably rest a bit.
I'm gonna get back to my coffee.
Don't face plant trying to do your project, please.
Lord, actually, you're done. I'll get back to my book. It's a nice one. I might let you borrow it after all.
Yes,
Good
as long
old
as you
time.
survive. As long as you survive the night, I will gladly accept it. Just go the fuck to sleep when you can.
When I can. You should know what it's like when you get impassioned and you can't sleep.
Oh no, I know about that. How not sleeping nearly for a month while researching in books in a library.
A month, eh? And I'm getting bickered for 3 days.
Hey,
Wait, it's 4.
and you're like this. It took me at least 2 weeks to get like that.
I was just pointing between both Angus and Deshar. You two need help.
Help! Too late for that.
Yeah, I'm gonna sleep like a normal person. Get something.
Back to work. Alright.
And away he goes to finish his book.
And there we go. Glad I finally got around to that scene, because like I didn't know when I was gonna slip it in.
That's what he said.
We all don't have.
I mean, that's a fucking
Well,
state
apparently you get tucked into bed.
That is a consistent state of being for Vellum, okay? So, you know.
Didn't know when
So
I'd slip it
when
in.
you
It's like
slip
that's
it in.
oof. That's not good.
Harsh but true.
Right. So let's just go to sleep. She's
And all
like,
the
just shakes her head. It's like I'm
photos.
surrounded by idiots.
The guy just
I'm an
watching
endearing
Angus go. Everyone else go. Coffee.
Ah,
Oh,
The
no.
disapproving
What-
stare does
what-
not affect you if you don't notice it.
Ignore it.
what a goddamn party this is.
Yeah, I love how crazy and stupid we are.
Crazy? Yes. Stupid? Yes.
Stupid.
We're a kaleidoscope of very stupid.
Why are you so stupid?
Why are you so stupid?
Are we efficient in battle? Yes.
We dumb as hell.
I'm going to sleep.
We go sleep. Except for the people not going to sleep, they can be dumb as they like.
Grook has been asleep for like 3 hours by now.
Ooh, ooh. I will get my drip soon. Yes, my drip.
Right. So, in that last night of work, Angus, you do thankfully manage to finish up your jug of eternal coffee, of endless coffee.
Now I can medicate myself while staying awake.
So back on the road for the 6th day.
Hey, Jenner, I need 2 more gathering things.
Day. Okay.
Coffee line template.
1 damage? What kind of coffee is it?
I don't know what's going on with
It's
that
very
one.
hot. It's very hot coffee. What are you gonna do? about it?
He's drinking it
Wait,
I
too.
mean, yeah, he's in the
One
he's in the
one
steam
bludgeoning
kit.
damage. Okay, I need to fix that.
Yeah, I don't know,
That's not-
buddy.
What
That's not how you
bludgeoning-
use coffee, Angus.
That's-
You're supposed to
that's
drink it, not hit
hilarious.
yourself with it.
You accidentally
Hilarious. Yeah,
drank
your
too
hands
fast.
just shaking so much you chip yourself in the tooth. Like, ah,
Yeah, you accidentally drank too fast, slammed yourself in the face with the cup.
There you go. I've
You got the-
given you an extra pull.
You got that coffee from
I'm gonna
McDonald's,
get another one after this.
superheated.
Hey,
Oh.
colourful feather.
and then uno mas.
Ooh.
Mending mycelium. Mushrooms.
Ooh. That sounds spicy.
I need that. Oh my god.
So
You
my
get nothing.
DC should only be 25 right now because I worked the first day and then so it should be staggered by 1, I think,
Alright then.
because
So you're
I
nearing
made 1
your...
progress. It's that, right? 10. Day 2.
That's true. It's the 5th day of working, but it's technically the 4th night of coffee.
Yeah, it's the 4th night of being awake.
Right, okay, so 25. DC 25. Nice.
I need to make a Constitution save coffee macro. Can I make that as part of my coffee ability?
Possibility.
We can sort that out after the game.
Let me just start coffee power, and then
Let me go ahead.
I
and,
didn't even need it.
Oh,
Nat 20.
Get on my fucking level.
there you go.
Oh, man, isn't it?
You know, I'm starting not to feel tired anymore.
You needed a 20 to make that save.
Angus went from tired to wired.
Hmm.
he's broken up
Yo-yoing,
into
we
the
need
other
to
side.
stop him.
But he's also got his.
Is Angus a
his
fighter now because he got that second win?
he's got that gorget of stamina. So
But
once
as Angus finishes up his fucking little thing, he's just gently, 2 hands on his shoulders, and starts guiding him towards bed.
Push.
There you go.
We're gonna take the dwarf and we'll push him somewhere else.
We'll push him into bed. Joke's on you. I already made the roll. I'm not sleeping.
Fuck you, I ain't sleeping. Lays in bed, wide awake.
Right. So, on the 6th day of your journey, the dense jungle looms ahead. The well-maintained stone road is now flanked by increasingly thick foliage. The area is thick with humidity. The distant sounds of jungle wildlife create this symphony of nature. Although, suddenly you hear the distant sound of shouting and the creaking of wooden wheels. And round a bend in the road, you come across a stranded caravan. One of the enormous dinosaurs, a trihorn, a triceratops, seems to have injured its leg and is unable to pull the cart. There's a man dressed in tattered clothes that kind of waves frantically. He calls out for help. What do you do?
Jenner, if I may.
Mm-hmm.
This may be a good place to leave it, because this is going to be a whole thing, and we're like 9 minutes from end of session. And I do have to doodle at the hour.
Alright then.
If that's okay with everyone else, I don't want to deny people playtime. Just, I'm still on the clock, job-wise, so...
I'm also
back to the pupper.
kind of in the camp of, we literally got a few minutes, and if this guy's caravan stuff, it's gonna be a whole thing.
Sure.
Yeah.
Alright, so...
Can we agree if we want to stop and help him, or say that's a trap and keep going?
Oh, I think we should stop and help him. What does everyone else think?
Say stop and help if only because he's literally
Okay.
blocking the path.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm in a tank. I can get him out of the way, but I think we're nicer than that.
I've upgraded my cow catcher to a dinosaur catcher.
The Dino Ram.
Now for cooking.
Angus is like, don't worry.
Giblet maker 5000.
Jesus Christ.
Angus is like, don't worry, I can get him out of the way, one way or another.
It's got barbecue spikes on connected to the boiler, so you can cook them while you're at them.
Right, so as you all kind of slow down and stop for this gentleman, the drizzle of rain overhead, the murky clouds, the slight mist emanating from over the jungle. We'll end it there. Ooh. Let me bring you over to the main.